Alright, welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Yesterday we got our frets working for our lute mechanic. So we have 4 strings and every string has more notes. So every string has a total of 4 frets we can hit for new notes to come out. So we're going to be theorizing today and hopefully getting the first steps of the Guitar Hero stuff coming out. You know, it's more so just a music sandbox because it's only a lute and we don't have anything to really, well, I don't know. I mean, there is going to be a looping section, so it's going to be like a minimalist DAW, I guess. Because I do want it to be where you can just walk around and play music. That would be sick. That would be sick, yeah. Well, I after me pulling this out of my butt in 2 days, or 3 days with the frets, I was kind of like, well, why don't we just do a new instrument for every dungeon? But I feel like it's gonna be wildly difficult to do any different mechanics, because I've been thinking about this one for a while, and the actual getting the music to scroll and then timing it and making sure we're tracking whether or not you play it correctly. I think that's the biggest part. And like, not so much pressing a button, having a sound come out, but the everything else is gonna suck. So we're gonna theorize how we can do it, and then try to get the first parts of it working. So I'm kind of thinking that we might have, like, let's say we have a table of notes, right? Oh no. So if we have a table of notes, and the notes are going to be, let's just say it's ABC. We need to be able to write out essentially sheet music that can then scroll on screen. So if we look at our thing here, the notes will come in, and each note will be a class in itself, and it'll have what fret it's for, it'll have what string it's on, and it will have a position to be scrolled on at. So what I'm thinking is we kind of lock in at a quarter note basis all the notes. So if we want a half note, for example, we would give one note and then a blank note and then whatever next note. So every note is essentially a quarter space so that we can have consistent timing. At least that's kind of what I'm thinking. So if we had 50 notes that are supposed to be scrolling on, we kind of need to instantiate them when it's their time and deinstantiate them once they're off screen, as well as check whether or not we pressed the right string and the right fret at the right time. So there's like a lot going on, but we can do it one step at a time, and we'll just try to get one note scrolling across the screen and have it be manipulatable so that we can say, okay, well, now it's on the 2nd string, now it's on the 3rd string, now it is fret 2, now it's fret 3, now it's open string. And if we can get that working, then we can plop all of those note instantiations into this table, and then we just have to figure out, hey, start a timer after, whatever delta time, whatever, we'd have to give it like a beats per minute, and then we'd have to give a interval for all the quarter notes. So we would then say, okay, if an interval has passed, go ahead and instantiate the next note of our notes here. You know, we get A first, it starts scrolling, and then after an interval amount of time, at the end of inserting and instantiating the A, we would remove that from the table because we don't need to keep track of it anymore. Now the actual instantiation is being tracked. Then we just have to go through like notes. Notes are all the remaining notes that need to come on. And then each note instantiation. So maybe we would call this sorry, I'm still learning GIMP. I'm a Photoshop kind of guy, but I'm trying to wean myself off Adobe. So if this is more like music, I don't know, music notes. What do we call it? Or song 1. We can call it song 1. So song 1 would have a table of notes, and then each of these notes would be in itself a note instantiation. So we would have a note class. So note, now this is weird because we have affinity photo. I will look into it, Soup. I will look into it because GIMP, I've tried using GIMP for on and off for a while, and it's always weird. This is a class, even though it looks like a table, but when we define a class, we give it curly braces like that. So I'm going to say that this is a class, and it needs, you know, like it would have like a starting Y position, or it would have a Y position that gets initialized to the width of the screen. And then it would also have, a string number. You know, it would be either on the first string, second string, or whatever. It would also have a fret ID, either 1, 2, 3, 4, or open. And then in the update for the note, we would have this is where we would give it the scrolling logic, right? So it would scroll to the left. So this is actually the X position, is the width of the screen, and then the update would have you know, it would just move the X position. The X would get X minus note speed or whatever. Gosh, it is so hard to write on this thing. I'm kind of thinking something like this. And then, oh no. Oh no. Well, that's okay, dude. You'll get it caught up to the rest of your body. It'll get caught up there. So a couple things to know is that we would only instantiate the note once its time is up, and then we deinstantiate once it's off. So we would also need a table to hold our active notes. Because we need to, oh gosh, man, my writing is getting worse and worse. We would have a table of active notes. Now, anytime we instantiate a new note, we'd plop it in there, and then we would loop through our active notes. And we would update them all, right? And then we would do some checks to say, I don't know if that's where we would do the checks for if the string is pressed and it's the right fret and right note at the right time. Geez, that's going to be tough. But we would have to deinstantiate once their time has passed. so that we're only keeping track of the active notes. And then we have a list of all the notes that are coming down the pipeline here in our song 1. This would be called deinstantiate, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to save this, so I think it's just helpful for me to kind of draw it out to kind of think it through. Okay, so I'm trying to think of anything. 100-pound dog? That's pretty up there, dude. What kind of dog is it? I know I've heard the dogs on your stream, but I don't think I've ever seen them. You're good, dude. Oh, nice. Wow. That's awesome. Those are great dogs. Okay. I think this is a decent start for at least us to start prototyping. So maybe the first thing we do is make a note class right here. They often are. It's like Scooby-Doo, right? Big old dog, and then he's afraid of everything. Okay, I think we start with the note class. And then if we get those updating, then we can worry about giving us a song and then making our active notes table and then worrying about all that logic. So let's start there. So we're going to go into our source folder here and make a new file for our note class. And we're going to say that our note class gets dictated here. And we need 3 functions for the note on the grand scheme of things. And it is a init, I need the colon here. It is an update with delta time. And then last is the render. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Hey, I'm sure there's a universe where Shaggy's bald too. Okay, what am I missing here? Note colon init. I think it's just an init like this. No? Maybe it's like this. Okay. Let's see our other class here and see if we do it the same way. Oh, gets class. Oh no, that's how we did it. Yeah, colon init and then parentheses. So colon init parentheses. Yeah. Okay. So that should be our note class. Now we do need to come into our dependencies and require our note here, so that our other functions can use this note. Okay, so we do need to figure out what the position for each string is. Yeah, that's Jimmy right there. I got the Jimmy cam hooked up. The light should be coming off, but Jimmy is super calm. Super calm if no one is reaching her hand in there. She's a little scaredy cat, but she almost never moves during the day because she's sleeping. And then at night, she almost never moves until it's like 2 a.m. And then I've seen her do like Mission Impossible, crawl upside down on the top there. And then she'll just fall sometimes. And she'll just like bounce off the floor and then climb up and do it again. It's awesome. It's funny. So we know we need an X position. We know we need a string number. We know we need a fret option. So I'm not sure how we define string. Do we say string 1 through 4, fret 1 through 4, Or do we have names for them so that we can keep them organized better? Yeah, she is definitely bouncy. And they lose their tails, and she's really scared. So I thought, and it's pretty normal for the crested geckos to lose their tails, but she has her tail still, and it's been like 4 or 5 years. And she's just scared, so like I don't know, she's just holding on to it. So we do need to require some variables here. We need to give it well, actually, we don't need to give it an X because they all start at the same position right off screen, right? Then they'll all come in. So they might take in a BPM for the song, maybe? I don't exactly know. Maybe we could just require a speed here first, and then a string, and then a fret. Okay, now I'm kind of thinking that we should keep it simple and do strings 1 through 4 and frets 1 through 4. But there's a part of me that thinks that'll screw something up. I'm just not sure what or when. So let's just say that for right now, let's just give the self X a 0, and let's give our string to be the initialized string parameter, and we'll give our fret to be the fret parameter that's passed in. And then we're just going to say that our X in the update is going to get its current X position minus whatever the speed is, which means we also need to store the speed from the parameter there. And then we can say, over time, we're just going to subtract our speed. So speed, string, and fret. And then we need to render the note. So let's see how we're rendering the note currently. So it looks like we are rendering it at an X of 1. Okay, yeah. So, because these are the ones that live on the beatbox line, which is the line for the timing, essentially. And then that is really cool. Wild salamanders sound awesome. Yeah, it is freaky. It is freaky. I used to chase lizards, like blue-tailed lizards growing up out here, and if you catch them, sometimes they pop off their tail, and then there's like some blood, and their tail goes crazy. So I think I stopped doing that. once that happened to me. It didn't happen the first couple times. I never understood that. Like when I was a kid, I was able to catch lizards. And now it's like, no way I'm catching a lizard now. Well, I'll catch my gecko if she jumps out of the cage, which she does do. But like a wild lizard, I'm not going to be able to catch that. Okay, so it looks like we're currently rendering like this 12 times I is the offset for each string. So like Y offset is how many what is the Y that they start at, and then every fret is 12 pixels lower than the previous. So I think we should hard code this lute string Y offset variable into our note class. That way, if we change the offset and we want to shape it a bit, we won't have to refactor later. So I think that's a decent way to go about it. And then we have to know that on fret 1, it is times 12. Is that right? I don't know how that math came out to work like that, but yeah. We once went hiking and found like a bunch of tadpoles, and we had like a water bottle, so we like scooped them up in the water bottle and then took them home, put them in an aquarium, and then turned them into frogs and would feed them lettuce. But they were like little frogs, like bite-sized frogs. Okay, we need to harpoon our note class so that we can access it easier. Okay, so it's going to be a love.graphics.draw. Now, here's the weird thing. I think we need to assign the image based on the string number. No. Based on the fret number. Because the things that are coming down the pipeline are the frets. Where they go depends on the string. So I want to make sure we have an open string PNG because we need that as part of our frets also. Fret open is what we've got. Yep, that's it. It's just a circle. So fret open. So I think we're going to say, I don't know if this is a great way to do it, but we can say if our string is equal to 1, then we're going to go ahead and set our own image to be equal to the drawable that is fret 1. And then our fret 1 is defined here in our dependencies as a drawable. We'll have to do it for the other strings, but I'm just going to test fret 1 for now. So hopefully we can get a fret on screen scrolling to the left, and then we can worry about plopping it in a note table, and then only instantiating them based on the notes that are coming up. So let's go to our play state, and we'll try to instantiate a note here. I think what I want to do is take in a we'll make a local song 1, and it's going to be set to this empty table. But then we're going to we have to insert. I don't think I want to go this far just yet. I think I just want to do note 1, and it gets an instantiation of our note class, and it takes in a speed, which for right now we'll just put 10, then a string, which we'll put 1 for the first. Well, yeah, we don't do anything with the string just yet, but then the fret has to be 1 too, because that's the only image that we're giving our note. Yeah. So it's not string 1, it's actually fret 1. And then we would render it at the Y position depending on the string. So for right now, we're going to draw the drawable of our self.image, which should be fret 1 in this case. And then it takes in an X and a Y, and we're going to give it our own X. And we're going to give it a Y of just 10 for now. So we should have a note instantiation with a speed of 10. That's how we're modifying the X to be moving left, and then a fret and a string of 1. So I want to make sure that, yeah, we are subtracting our speed from our X. So every frame, 10 is way too fast for every frame, because that's 60 or 600 pixels per second. So I think I want to give it like a slower number here, because even this would be 30 pixels per second, which there's only 160 wide, so it'd only take a couple seconds at 0.05 or 0.5. So we instantiate our note. What's left is to update our note. So we'll say note 1, update. And then we have to render our note 1. So we'll say note 1, go ahead and render, and we'll see what happens. Okay, note is a nil value because our play state does not know what it is. So if we go to our dependencies, let's go see where our play state is and where our note is. Our note is down here, and our play state is up here. So we need our note before our play state. So we'll move that there. And then now, bad argument 1 to draw in note 18, so it did not know that this was a drawable for our render here. So if we look at our note 18, yeah, it's looking for a drawable. You know what? Let's just try to put fret 1 in here, and then we'll debug that. But we're just trying to get any note on screen at the moment. Oh, I saw it. I saw it. We want this X to be the virtual, actually the screen width limit. Yeah. So now we've got our note coming onto screen here. We've got a weird kind of something going on with the aliasing or something. But the idea is, look at that. It's like you hold the fret to see it, and then you would play it. Well, I played the wrong thing, but that's the idea here, is that it's just Guitar Hero for the fret. So as it's coming in, you're like, oh, I need that one, and play. And then, you know, it'll probably be blue string if you get it right. It might be, maybe it'll be blue string if you just strum it normally. Red if you string the wrong note when the note is in the beatbox, and green when you strum the correct note in the beatbox. So you get some kind of visual feedback that you're hitting the right notes. So we've got that, but we do need, what, if fret is equal to 1, and you know what, let's do self fret gets fret. I don't think this would make a difference, but let's see. If our own fret is equal to 1, then we're going to set our own image to a fret 1, and then let's put our self image back here, because we want this to render any fret image. So let's see. It doesn't like that. Now it knows it has access to fret 1 because we just drew it, but it doesn't like I'm kind of curious. I mean, maybe we're screwing this up. Like if we just put self-image gets fret 1, let's see if that'll let us draw the self-image. It doesn't. I don't get why that would be the case. Because the only thing we're changing there is... Yeah, I don't get why that would be the case. We should be able to insert a field in there just like we're doing this one. Okay. We could... ideally, I would just like one draw function in the render, but it's not playing nice. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we do like a conditional render based on the fret or whatever. So like if, I don't know, I don't like doing this. If self.fret is equal to 1, go ahead and draw fret 1. And then we make sure we give ourselves the fret, yeah. And then, let's see. Okay, so that does work. I just don't like that. Because then we would have to do, if self fret is equal to 2, then draw fret 2. That is totally wrong. Okay, fret 2. So let's try to change our note instantiation to be fret 2 and see if that works. So we'll go to our play state. Okay, let's try to string and then fret. So let's give it a fret 2 and see if fret 2 changes. Sweet, it is fret 2 now. I don't like that we can't just draw the self.image. So maybe I'll Google that real quick. because we should be able to. Field assigned. I don't know. I feel like I've done this before, though. Just takes in a drawable. Okay, let's try to do this again, but yeah, this is so weird. If we give it fret 1, which we know is a drawable because we're currently rendering fret 1 here. So we render fret 1, and that's no problem, but we try to render self.image. Oh, lordy, okay. And bad argument 1 got nil. So why is self-image nil here? Why would the self-image be nil here? I don't know what else to try. It sounds so straightforward. Like all we're doing is putting the fret 1 drawable into a field called self-image. Maybe can we say local image and then assign fret 1 into image and then draw image? No. Can we do global image and save a drawable and do that? No. It doesn't like that, man. Okay, well, I'm not gonna keep trying to solve this because we can do some nasty stuff like this. So, I don't like that, but I don't know what else to do at the moment. And it's not so interesting to watch me scratch my head. Okay. So, the note... Yeah, we need... Fret 5 will be considered... open... Yeah. Since it's one indexed, fret 5 has got to be the open string, which feels weird, but... we just got to do it. So we'll do a fret 3 if it's fret 3. We'll do a fret 4 if it's fret 4. And then we'll do a fret 5, which is, if the fret is 5, we want to do a fret open. So let's test our fret open and make sure that's working in our play state here. So let's give us a fret of 5 and see if... Okay, so that's open. Yeah, it looks a little shifted, doesn't it? It doesn't look so smooth. There's fret 4, fret 3. Okay, and then we know 2 and 1 work. Let's scale our speed by delta time so we have that frame independent rendering. So we'll go to our note class and we will say minus self speed times delta time. So now we can actually speed up our initial note speed. Because look at that. Oh, just one at a time. Because yeah, it's moving 1/60th of a speed now. So now we can speed up instead of like 0.05 or 0.5 as our speed. Maybe we have a 50 as our speed. Sweet. Oh, that looks a lot smoother too. That looks a lot smoother. Let's do 35. Okay, so now let's try to get different strings. So like that one looks pretty good for string 1, right? So I don't get why it's perfectly lined up. Like I couldn't ask for it being better lined up on that 4th string. But that is a string 1. We want string 4 to be up there. So if it's string 4, we don't touch our Y essentially. That might be a little weird to do mathematically. And I'm going to take my note and put it up here in my working directory here. So now I should be able to harpoon to it. 1, 2, 3. Let's put it at our harpoon 2. Okay. So whenever we want note, we've got it right here. Click of a button and then place state and note. Okay. Okay, so 10 seems to be the proper height for the 4th string. So this is kind of backwards, right? Because the 1st string needs to be lowest, 2nd string needs to be higher, 3rd higher, 4th higher, and the 4th string is 10. So we need to modify our Y based on the string number, but it'd be easier the other way around. Like, yeah, it'd be easier. Part of me is thinking that we just call strings counting downwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that makes sense. Because the Love2d grid system is from the top left 0, 0. Positive is moving right, positive is moving down. So 1, 2, 3, 4 stacked like that makes sense. So fret or string 1 will now be the top string here. Now we aren't rendering with the lute string offset. I'm curious if we draw fret 1 at the lute string Y offset, where that ends up. So we'll make sure to give our... Where's our note? First string. Is it string and then fret? String and then fret. And we're rendering the first fret. Okay, so yeah. First fret, which is what we just left, as a 1. Yes, okay. So here's the lute Y offset. Okay, so that looks to be, that really is 10. Really is 10. Okay, so now we can replace all these 10s with the string number, offsetting it by, was it 12? I think it was by a multiple of 12. So if we substitute all of our 10s with whatever our self.string is times 12. But we also need to put our loot string offset. So loot string offset plus our string offset. So let's see. This is... Oh, shoot. This isn't right. We would need our every fret to do this. So we would need this fret to even do this. So the only one that can be... I think the only one that will probably be screwed up is the very first one, because we don't need to add anything to the first one. So actually, yeah, maybe we just do that. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try to give different strings to this note and see if it moves across strings. So that's string 1. So if we go to... Oh, shoot. Let's see. String 1 here. It looks like it's not changing. Oh, because it's only fret 1. Okay. So yeah, let's try fret 2. Fret 2 on string 2. No. Loot string offset Y is what it is. And we messed that up. Oh, Y offset. That's what it is. So, nice. So that string 2 is actually 2 from the bottom. It should be the second string 1, 2 going down. 2. Okay. Fret 2. Okay, so we do need to... Shit. Let's play around with the other frets and see if those are horribly jacked up too. So we'll put fret 4 on string 3 and see what that looks like. That string 3 should be string 4. String 2 is actually string 3. Oh god. String 1 is actually string 2. And then, yeah, we should have only those 4. Or like, let's see what string 4 is. Yeah, off. So we just need to shift all of our Y's by 1 string offset, or one I don't know. I feel like if we take out the string offset, it'll be almost correct, but we need to... Let's just minus our... Let's minus 12. This is disgusting. We'll fix this up with some constants, if it works. Okay. So now string 4 is the bottom string as intended, and string 1 is hopefully string 1 as intended. Nice. Okay. So, sweet. Okay, so we have a note instantiation, and it's scrolling from off-screen to off-screen, but currently it's just always scrolling more negative and more negative and more negative and never deinstantiating. So my idea is we put these note instantiations into the table class, And then we loop through the table class and update all the notes in the song 1. Yeah, not table class, in the song 1 table. We give all of our note instantiations into the song table. We update every note in the song so that they all update. And then we also do some checks. We say, hey, if the note's self X position is less than -12, meaning it's all the way off screen, go ahead and remove it from our song table. Okay, so there's two things we need. There's a song and there's also a notes active. So the song is going to be something like we give it the notes, which the notes would be note objects. So I don't know if the way is to literally give it the note objects here. Like we would say song 1 is, well, the first note is 35 speed 1 and 4. And the song 1 is also a second note, which is also 35. You know, this is disgusting. Like, we want to be able to pass in. It's just tough, though, because every note needs to have a fret and a string, because we need to know where to place it. That's the string. And we need to know what fret to show. That's the fret. So every note does need a note and fret. We can probably have a default speed, for, like a default BPM for all the songs. But if we were to have a song 1 that has these two notes, and then we were to say song 1 at index 1 is the first active note, and song 1 at index 2 is the second active note. Now, instead of updating our note, I want to loop through all of our active notes and update them over time. So let's go to our update, and instead of updating note 1, I want to loop through our active notes. So what we'll do is do a for key value in pairs active notes. We want to update each note. So every value that's in there, we want to update with delta time. Now, we need to render these, and then we also need to check and make sure we're rendering different notes and different frets, just to prove that this is working. Oh my gosh. So look, we'll not render note 1, but we will cycle through all of our active notes, and this is in pairs. And we would say, go ahead and render each one of those notes. So, let's see. It looks like just one note made it, but let's check our active notes and see that we gave it the same exact thing. So we'll do 1 on the first string, and then let's do fret 1 on the first string and fret 2 on the second string and see if they pop up here. Okay, that's wrong. But it's almost there. Like, why is 1 off? If we do string 2 and string 3, that is weird. Why is the first one always off? Yeah, fret 1 is way off. So if we give the 4th fret on the 4th string for note 2, that one works. Why is the second note or the first note never changing? That is weird. Okay, that is really strange. Fret 1 seems to work. Fret 2. Why is it working now? What did I change? I didn't change anything, right? Like, now it's just working. Okay. So we're able to get... This is great. We're able to get any fret we want on any string we want, updating over time. But we do need to... The idea here is to set, like, let's say we have our song 1, that is all of our notes. Then we need to populate them one by one. We need to instantiate each note a segmented interval apart. So instead of, we wouldn't pass in this 35 as a BPM, we would pass in our 35 somewhere else and say, you know, we have a counter and we say if we're doing 60 beats per minute, what would that be for a quarter note? It would be just 1 beat per second, or it would be 4 quarter notes in a second. I don't exactly know. But the idea is we have a table of song notes. Then we say, okay, it's been 1 second. Let's instantiate the next note in this song. And then what we would do is we would say, you know, if there are song notes, let's just try it. So instead of active notes getting set here, we're going to set active notes to be equal to an empty table. And we're going to take out this BPM for our note instantiation because we're not even using it anyway, and the logic that applies to is coming from the play state instead. So we're not even using... Actually, we are using the speed. What we can do is give ourselves the dedicated speed, because the speed at which they come across is not necessarily the speed that they're going to be coming on screen. It's just how at what rate are they exiting the screen. So for now, let's just make that 35, and let's just make sure that didn't crash anything. What the flip? I think... Oh. Yeah, let's take out this. Shit, man. What do we do? String fret. Yeah, can you see him? It's kind of like muddy. Now that the light's off, it's kind of muddy in there. Can't really see him that great. Okay, nice. Okay, it's because... Okay, I know why this is happening. And it's because we are no longer updating the notes. Let's go to our note class, and we will, in fact, take out this speed parameter. We just want string and fret, and we'll give it this 35 speed. Now what we need to do is, in our play state, we need to come in here, because right now there's no active notes, and the only thing we're updating is our active notes, and there is none. So we're going to have a song timer, and it's going to get equal to 0. Then in our update, we're going to say song timer gets modified by change in time. And then what we're going to do is say if song timer is greater than 1 second, then we're going to go ahead and say if there are any values left in our song 1. So this is if If the number of items in our song 1 is greater than 0, then what we want to do is take the note instantiation at the very first note in our song. We want to take that note instantiation and we want to insert it into our active notes table. So we'll say table.insert, and what we want to insert is the song 1, and I think, what is it? List and then value. So the list we want to insert it into is our active notes, and the value is the song 1 at index 1. So as long as there is a song note in our song, we're going to go ahead and insert it. And then what we're going to do is also remove it from our song 1 so that we don't have that note anymore, because once we populate that note, we want to get rid of it. Hey, what's up, Prosto? How's it going? We've got the Jimmy cam up, but it's kind of hard to see her. But she's sleeping in her tree. So now we want a table.remove from our song 1. And we want to remove the value of... Shoot. Does it say list and then position? Okay, so we're going to say remove from our song 1, position 1. Take out the first note because we already inserted that into our active notes. And then we want to reset our song timer to be equal to 0 so that we can insert the second note into the active notes. Then we are updating all of our active notes, and then we'll need to deinstantiate, but let's see if that works. Oh, yes. This is it. This is looking good. So as they fly in, you'd be like, oh, I need the 3rd fret. Okay, 2nd string. Boom, boom. So let's see. Hey, sorry you can't sleep, Prosto. Hopefully my bugs will put you to sleep. Okay, so the idea here is we don't need this note 1 anymore. Because now we have a table of notes. Now, ideally, what do you want to practice? I don't think I like the idea of putting all these note instantiations as the song. But, yeah. Well, hey, dude, you can pull... I mean, you know how to pull the code, right? I mean, you can just pull up the GitHub, the latest release, the commit from yesterday, and you can practice the loot stuff yourself. Play yourself to sleep. Yeah, I just don't like that the song would be declared like this. String 1, fret 1, string 2, fret 2. Because then we would also need a placeholder for quarter notes that are empty. So we want to bypass, like maybe we give, I don't know how we would do that. Gotcha. Let's see if we get 4 notes on screen now. Nice. Oh, note 1 is screwed up. Why is it that sometimes string 1 gets jacked up? Why is that, man? It gets stuck. We must have something weird going on in the note class. No. We've got... If fret is 1, we just draw it... Oh, wait. Why do we minus the 12 here? Oh. Okay. I think we do need this. Fret 1 was perfect here at Y offset, wasn't it? Okay, there we go. Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy. Okay. Let's try it again. I need to get my wits about me this time. Okay. So 3. Okay. 3, 4, 1, 2. Fuck. Okay. It's tough. It's tough. Okay. Fuck, man. The last note is killing me. It's tough. There we go. Cool. So we don't have any feedback for hitting the right notes or not. Is that the instrument that's on the intro to your stream? That guitar lele? I don't know what that was. I thought it was just a uke. Okay. Okay, so we have a list of notes that we call a song 1, and then we have a list of active notes. So let's go through and try to... Okay, interesting. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Weird. I forget what the standard... Because that's... Yeah, 6-string ukulele. That's cool. Yeah, I've got a 4-string... I forget the tuning, though. Let's just try to deinstantiate any active note if their X position is off screen, and then we'll call it a day. So let's print up how many active notes are on screen at a time so we can keep track of that, just to make sure. We can say lordy, graphics, print, and we're gonna say active notes. Yeah. See, that's interesting. That's interesting. Hey, dude, yeah, go for it. Nothing is off limits, especially with music. Okay, I think we want to print this. Okay, nice. Okay, so look, we're getting active notes as they fly in, but they never deinstantiate. So let's scoot this up a bit. Not dumb, Prosto, not dumb. Dude, if you're dumb, then I can't do anything in Lua, because you're like a Lua god. Okay. Okay, yeah, we're just going to remove the notes once they go off screen so that we don't have to update notes that are off screen and keep moving them left. So I think we'll go into our update. Okay, so we're going to update them, and then we want to check. We want to say if that X position is less than the left side of the screen, just off screen, then we want to go ahead and remove it. Oh no. Then we want to say table.remove, and we want to remove from our active notes and the index of our key here. So if that very note is off screen, we're going to remove it from our active notes. So let's see if that works. Sweet. Cool. So we're deinstantiating those note objects once they go off screen here. Why are we doing this? Where are we using... Okay, we're not doing anything with that. Oh, nice. That's awesome. I don't if is it something you can share, or is it something I should find for myself? What is it? I do want to put some Easter eggs in here for sure. I mean, oh, let's see. So we've got... Oh no. Oh no. It's tough. It's tough. A specific item. Okay. Okay, sweet. Okay, cool. The only thing that we don't have the ability to do with this current setup is to put chords. Right now we can only put one per item, so we might have to rehaul how we define what a song is, and there might be 2 instantiations of a note at any given time. So we might have to pull out our song 1, not from individual notes, but okay, sweet. Hey, I'm looking forward to checking it out, bro. So that sounds cool. Because yeah, right now we just can't do any chords. We can do single notes. Okay. So yeah, I think that might look like something like, instead of our song being comprised of notes, it might be a song combined of just tables of notes. So if there we would have to do something like this when we instantiate them. Instead of doing song 1, index 1, we would have to go through... We'd have to kind of count how many notes are in each index. So I don't exactly know how we would do that, but we might pull apart the notes into another kind of class so that we can say note 1 is 2 notes, 2 instantiations of notes. Because, I mean, we might even have up to 4 notes played at a time. So we have to be able to insert 4 notes into the active notes table at any given song timer. Yeah, and then another limitation of the way we are doing this is that right now we are always putting in a note at any 30 seconds or whatever our song timer is. 1 second. So every 1 second. So if we wanted something like a flourish where we strum it like that, we'd have to change how this is working. So we might end up modifying the notes to take in the time until the next note is played, because then we can flesh out our notes with different intervals in between them, and then we don't have to worry about any dummy notes for empty quarter space objects, so, or quarter note spaced notes. So I think I'm gonna go, gosh, we used to have, okay, notes. I'm gonna say, like, consider adding time until next note into note class. I think that's a good idea, because then we don't have to add those dummy quarter notes. Okay, so all we did was we added a note class. We created a song, inserted 4 notes into that song. We gave us an empty active notes table and set a song timer to 0. Then we insert into our active notes from our song. Anytime our song timer is greater than 1, we reset our song timer and remove that note from the song as we insert it. Then we loop through all of our active notes, we update them, we deinstantiate them if they're off screen, and then we render all of our current active notes. So that's what we did today. Sweet. So tomorrow I think we'll work on tweaking that note class to handle taking in a note time until next note. So that'll be tomorrow, but thanks for watching, guys. We'll raid out to the channel friend Magnetonics, because he's always in here supporting me, and we will raid out Magnetonics_. But thanks for watching. I hope you guys all have a good night and a wonderful morning.